I'm not really the shoulda, coulda, woulda type of person, but I will say that I wish I knew these three things when I was younger, growing up with sickle cell and having to battle it. So I will tell you a few things that you should be aware of. If you do or don't, this could also be a reminder that you should remember about your sickle cell, living with it, and taking care of yourself. As I give you the tips, I'll be making a beet, kale, and pineapple juice. So I'm just in the midst of washing it. I got 2 beets, pieces of kale in the mix. So that is just soaking. So the first thing I wish I knew when I was younger about living with sickle cell is you are what you eat. This goes for everyone, and for people with sickle cell, it matters a lot. When it comes to food, food can either be balanced, alkaline, or acidic. This is something I wish I knew when I was younger because it could have helped me tremendously. It could have cut down on my hospital visits. It could have cut down on the crises that I've had. It wasn't until about 2015, 2016 when I found out about Dr. Sebi and how he helped lots of people with disease and cure it based on the amount of mucus, inflammation, and acidity that's in the body. So if you haven't heard it, and even if you have, this is an extra reminder that the more acidic things that we eat, the more we're prone to getting inflammation, and inflammation is dis-ease. So it's very important to have a balance of acidic foods and alkaline foods. If you have sickle cell, if you're dealing with chronic pain, if you have any type of illness, you're gonna want to steer more towards the alkaline side. That way your cells can be fed alkaline nutrition and can go back to a homeostasis. Ways that you can go more alkaline is cut down on your meat. If you eat meat 5 to 6 times a week, try doing 3 to 4. If you're doing dairy, let's say, try doing plant-based milk. Just try and refrain from real dairy. Another thing you can do is eat lots of berries. You can put blueberries, blackberries, raspberries, strawberries. You can put them in your water. Fuse your water for a couple hours and drink it. Or you can do lots of berry smoothies, and of course eat berries by itself. Berries is high in antioxidants and it oxygenates the red blood cells. A couple of other things you can do is try wild crafted sea moss. This is gonna help with so many things, like give you added minerals that you may be deficient in. It'll help with your lubrication of joints. It'll help oxygenate the red blood cells as well and give you extra energy. You can also try mixing sea moss with burdock root. Putting those together is a great elixir for your blood cells and for the flow of your body. Burdock root is a great blood purifier or blood cleanser, and it will eliminate any toxins that are swimming in the blood. When you're trying to eat more alkaline, natural foods are gonna be more alkaline, like your greens, kale, beets. Do things like bok choy, collard greens, callaloo. When it comes to acidic foods, it's gonna be the foods that have been killed, like beef and chicken, pork, fish even. Having these things in moderation is gonna do your body real good. Also, when it comes to nutrition, no offense to doctors, but they do only study nutrition for about 20 to 25 hours in medical school. So you're gonna need to do your due diligence on making sure what is nutritional for you, because they are not nutritionists. The next thing I wish I knew when I was younger that would help my sickle cell would be herbalism. Herbalism is a practice that is way older than Western medicine. I'm not telling you to get rid of your Western doctor and forget about them, but implementing herbalism into your daily life can be a great option and alternative whilst you deal with westernized medicine and doctors. Different herbs and different plants have different medicinal properties, whether it has to do with inflammation, digestion, the brain, the reproductive system, or blood cells. Herbs can really help navigate and combat disease and illness in the mind and body. The best thing I would say to do is try to find a local herbalist near you, or even one that ships internationally. You can also do your research and become an herbalist yourself for yourself. You don't necessarily have to go to school for it, but it's important to do your research and know which herbs work for you. Certain herbs that I take are Isobright. Isobright help with the strength and overall wellness of your eyes. Sarsaparilla is also great if you're anemic. Burdock root, as mentioned before, is a great blood cleanser. Mullein powder is great to consume. If you're a stoner, it'll help with your respiratory system. Ginger and turmeric root is also great for inflammation and your joints. There are so many herbs and roots that you can use to help your body. We got 1 cup of pineapple here that we're gonna add into the juice. So this is not the last thing, but another thing that I wish I knew when I was younger, growing up and struggling with my sickle cell, is the history of sickle cell. Sickle cell is over 70,000 years old. So this illness is not as new as we think. It's Western medicine and doctors that are very new. They're about 150 years old. All that to say, we have had different ways of handling our sickle cell prior to colonization and westernized thoughts. So I tell my younger self, look, your ancestors needed a way to help the next generations to come. Although bittersweet, our ancestors were able to adapt to a certain circumstance due to a malaria outbreak and alter their DNA so that the next generation would have a chance. If you're interested, check out my other video called The First Godly Mutation, where I talk about Sankofa and the meaning and where it comes from, which is from the Ghanaian tribe, Akan. Knowing that our sickle cell has a true history and lineage is very powerful, and it's very important for us to remind ourselves that although we go through anguish and suffering, our ancestors sacrificed a certain way of living to adapt and evolve so that we can live even more. So although we go through excruciating pain, please know that there are ways to heal alternatively rather than treat. And knowing these 3 things could be a great start to understanding that you are more than your sickle cell and you are capable of sharing your stories and living the utmost greatest life that you've ever imagined.
So now I'm adding a 1/2 cup of water, or 1.5 cups of water, blending it up so that it's smooth, and then straining it out. That way the scraps aren't necessarily in the drink. And then I'm putting it over ice.
Let's try it. The pineapple juice adds a little bit of sweetness to it. It's very refreshing and easy to drink. I'll see y'all in the next vid. Moon Cell Alchemist out, always within.